It is my pleasure to introduce the next speaker this afternoon, although he needs no introduction, but our Executive Director, Mr. Dave Lowe. I'm thrilled to tell you a bit about him as he makes his way to the podium. Dave Lowe is the 6th Executive Director in CSEA's history. He began his career with CSEA in 1981 as a labor relations representative in the San Francisco and San Mateo areas. He began working in governmental relations in 1984, taking on the responsibilities of managing legislative, lobbying, political, and campaign activities for CSEA members. He was appointed Executive Director in 2011. He sits on the Labor Coalition, which includes legislative and political representatives from public employee unions. He's also chair of the Californians for Healthcare and Retirement Security. These coalitions represent over 1 million public employees in California on pension, healthcare, and labor issues. Dave has broad experience in labor and, having been a union member, served as a steward and in other local capacities as a labor representative, worked in government relations, and now as the Executive Director of the largest and best classified school employee union in the country. Sisters and brothers, I give you Dave Lowe. All right, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, President Bilbrey. Brothers and sisters, 2015 was an outstanding year for CSEA and for public education in California. Thanks to your hard work, passing Proposition 30, pre-K-14 funding has increased substantially since 2012. In 2015-16, the minimum Proposition 98 guarantee was increased by $7.6 billion, and the total increase in ongoing one-time Prop 98 funding was $13.6 billion. The two-year increase in education funding since passage of Proposition 30 has been a record $24 billion increase. These increases have allowed CSEA and our chapters to bargain for long overdue pay raises, increased benefits, elimination of furlough days for many of our members. Now, not every district has benefited equally from the increased budgets, and not every district has budgeted wisely or bargained in good faith with our members. Where districts continue to cut, lay off workers, or where they've just simply been miserly anti-union cheapskates, we continue to organize, fight back, and replace school board members. But some districts have bargained in good faith and treated classified employees fairly. Last year, CSEA negotiated raises of more than 5% in over 60 chapters. Chowchilla Chapter 232 bargained for an increase of 10% on the salary schedule. Roseville Elementary Chapter 475 bargained for 10.8%. Chowchilla High Chapter 409 got 11%. Corona Norco Chapter 369, 13.5%. Manteca Noon Duty Chapter 864, 14%. And Palo Verde Chapter 111 bargained for a salary increase of 15%. Congratulations to these chapters and every chapter who has gone to the bargaining table and negotiated for long overdue raises, rights, and benefits. As the tide has risen for CSEA members, it has also risen for CSEA. Last year, we projected membership growth at a modest 1,000, taking into consideration the fact that school districts were being asked to pay more for classified and teacher pensions, and that Proposition 30 is scheduled to begin sunsetting in 2016. CSEA membership did not increase by 1,000 or 2,000 or even 3,000, but instead CSEA membership last year increased by 6,986. This increase in membership has resulted in increased revenue, and that's why we will be presenting a balanced budget with substantial reserves, no cuts, and no dues increase. When I spoke to you at last year's conference, we faced the challenge of re-electing Governor Jerry Brown, Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom, and an entire slate of CSEA-endorsed candidates for state constitutional office. You know, Rob Fechner and Michael Bilbrey serve on the CalPERS Board of Administration alongside the state treasurer and the state controller. This board manages $300 billion of your funds. It pays your retirement benefits, and it administers the second largest health plan in the nation. And thanks to you, Rob and Michael are joined by allies, not enemies, because you helped elect John Chung, State Treasurer, and Betty Yee, State Controller. And to show their appreciation, both will be flying out to speak to you this week. As we prepare to fight the ballot initiative to eliminate the right of every new public employee to a defined benefit pension, the Attorney General will write the important title and summary that will appear on every petition. Thanks to you, that title and summary will be written by a friend of labor because you helped elect Kamala Harris Attorney General. Now, voter turnout in the last election was abysmal as the state hit record lows. A shrinking electorate empowers the few and the rich. We need to re-energize voters, connect with younger voters, and take back control of our democracy. And thanks to you, we have elected a smart, energetic, and CSEA-endorsed candidate, Alex Padilla, Secretary of State. Now, the toughest statewide election last year pitted an anti-union charter school advocate for superintendent of public instruction against the pro-labor and pro-classified employee incumbent. And thanks to you, we have elected our friend Tom Torlakson, superintendent of public instruction. From governor to lieutenant governor to insurance commissioner, thanks to your hard work, CSEA-endorsed candidates swept every constitutional seat in the state of California. Last year, CSEA also engaged in a major organizing campaign with the California Labor Federation, as Michael talked about, the All In to Win campaign. This campaign recognized that unions cannot operate as separate, standalone organizations if we are to survive and thrive. Our opponents, the Koch brothers, right-to-work organizations, extremists on the Supreme Court, Scott Walker, Chris Christie, and others have joined forces against organized labor. That's why CSEA put members on release time and staff volunteered to help food packers at Taylor Farms, security guards at Apple, and minimum wage workers at Walmart. Many workers at Taylor Farms are recent immigrants. If they even mention the word union, they're threatened with deportation or fired. High-tech workers at Apple headquarters have access to a free cafeteria, valet service, dry cleaning, free childcare. But their security guards were minimum wage contract employees with no benefits, no leave, and no health care. Some of them slept in their cars because they couldn't afford to live in Silicon Valley. And don't get me started on Walmart. I could go on and on. You know, the 6 Waltons have a net worth of $148 billion. Those 6 individuals have more wealth than 42% of American families combined. Yet they refuse to pay decent wages, treat their workers fairly, or recognize unions. So CSEA members and staff attended rallies at Apple, encouraged school districts to stop buying produce from Taylor Farms, and attended Black Friday demonstrations across California. And thanks to our work, Taylor Farms workers are standing up and organizing unions. Walmart agreed to voluntarily increase wages to $10 an hour. And Apple security guards are now Apple employees with Apple benefits. As President Bilbrey stated, for our work on these campaigns, CSEA received an award from the California Labor Federation. Now, we are proud of this work, not just because we received an award, but because once again, when our brothers and sisters needed help, CSEA stood and delivered. As President Bilbrey also noted, CSEA has been working for many years on creating a National Classified School Employee of the Year award. In California, we recognize our Classified Employees of the Year here at our conference. And the Superintendent of Public Instruction and the Community College Chancellor each recognize Classified Employees of the Year at the state level. At the national level, there's a Teacher of the Year. There's an Administrator of the Year. But there is no Classified Employee of the Year. Year after year, we have lobbied Congress and met with the White House to push for this recognition. And this past year, at our National Coalition meeting in Washington, D.C., I watched President Bilbrey as he could not hold back his frustration any longer when we met with Kyle Learman, who is in charge of the White House Champions of Change program. Before Kyle could even get started, Michael said, "We've heard talk every year, but we've seen no action. Frankly, I'm tired of hearing what you can't do. I want to hear what you can do." And much to our surprise, Kyle responded, "Before, you were speaking to my staff. Now you're talking to me, and I will commit to you today that next year we will open the White House and we will recognize Classified Employees of the Year." Thanks to the work of your leaders and our allies, next year our National Coalition will select 12 Classified Employees of the Year, 2 chosen by CSEA, and they will fly to Washington, D.C. and be recognized at the White House. As I said, it's been an outstanding year for CSEA, but we still face major challenges. As you know, Proposition 30 is scheduled to begin sunsetting in 2016 and will phase out entirely in 2018. Proposition 30 currently brings in almost $8 billion in revenue, most of which has gone to public education. We simply cannot allow this revenue to expire. CSEA is working with a broad coalition to conduct research, polling, coalition building, and drafting of an initiative that will replace Proposition 30 and ensure that we don't lose this crucial funding for our public schools and other programs. Our goal is to have a measure submitted by late August, be on the streets gathering signatures by October, and to qualify and pass a replacement measure in November 2016. Another measure has been submitted for the November 2016 ballot that we must oppose. Former San Jose Mayor Chuck Reed and former San Diego Councilman Caro DeMaio have submitted an initiative that would eliminate defined benefit pensions for all public employees hired after January 1st, 2019. This measure closes all existing retirement plans to new members and prohibits increasing payments to keep existing plans solvent. This would put all current employees and retirees in danger of losing benefits promised to you. It repeals constitutionally vested rights. It shifts risks and costs to employees. It requires a vote of the electorate for any retirement benefit increase. And it would allow voters to repeal collectively bargained compensation, retirement, and retiree health care. Now, I have chaired the State Retirement Coalition for over a decade, and I have seen pension attacks come and pension attacks go. In 2004, Assemblyman Keith Richmond introduced a pension attack, and we killed it. In 2005, Governor Schwarzenegger introduced a pension attack, and we killed it. The Reed-DeMaio pension attack will be the 5th statewide ballot measure introduced in the past 10 years to eliminate our pensions. And our coalition is strong, we are ready, we are united, and we will kill this measure too. The other major attack on unions is the one that concerns me the most. The reason it concerns me is because it is an attack over which we have little control. Under current law, unions have the right to collect dues from members and service fees from non-members. This law, called agency shop, is based on the premise that unions must represent everyone. Regardless of whether they choose to join the union, everyone receives the benefit of negotiated pay raise, health benefits, leaves, rights, and union protections. This is called the duty of fair representation. The other side of this coin is that non-members must pay a fee for the representation they receive and can be rebated the cost of non-representational services such as political contributions. Anti-union groups are working with anti-union employees to challenge this law. And as President Bilbrey noted, a teacher named Rebecca Friedrichs has filed a case that is now before the United States Supreme Court. Friedrichs v. CTA will either uphold or overturn the law giving public employee unions the right to collect service fees from non-members. A decision in this case is expected by June 2016. An adverse decision will be devastating for CSEA and for every public employee union across the nation. Currently, CSEA has almost 37,000 service fee payers, from whom we collect 18% of our budget, or approximately $10.5 million. And as the President noted, losing Friedrichs would mean an immediate $10.5 million cut effective the date of the decision. This assumes not a single additional CSEA member decides to drop their membership. And we all know that there are some current members who, given the chance to get representation and pay nothing, will drop their membership and become freeloaders. This means an adverse decision could force CSEA to cut substantially more than $10.5 million out of our budget. So CSEA is not sitting idly by and worrying about which way this decision will go. We are taking action now to prepare for any scenario. This means converting service fee payers to CSEA members, streamlining and improving processing of member applications, improving coordination between departments, and introducing legislation. We are ensuring that every CSEA member and staff understands the critical impact of this decision and what they can do to help. We have set aside contingency funds in the CSEA budget, and we have developed alternative budget options and backup plans in case the Supreme Court overturns agency shop. Even though the Supreme Court only recently decided to hear the Friedrichs case, CSEA anticipated this situation, and we've been working on this issue for over a year. Last year, we set a goal of converting 9,830 service fee payers. We utilized CSEA release time members, engaged in site visits, and introduced a first-time CSEA tablet program. And by May 30th, we had exceeded our goal by almost 5,000, converting almost 15,000 service fee payers. This was an outstanding result. But at the end of the year, the net number of service fee payers actually went up. That's because on average, 20,000 classified employees turn over every year. Thousands more go on leave or are laid off during the summer months, and thousands of new employees were also hired. And in each of these cases, CSEA was required to re-sign these members up or risk having them default to service fee payers. We have now initiated processes to ensure that employees on leave do not have to resubmit membership applications. We have developed an even more comprehensive service fee conversion program, and we are pursuing legislation to require every school district in California to provide mandatory union access to all new employee orientations. By June 2016, when we expect the Friedrichs decision to be issued, our goal is to reduce the number of service fee payers by more than half. Achieving this goal will mean that if the Supreme Court decides against us, our immediate budget exposure and the required cuts will be substantially reduced. This conversion program will require CSEA to redouble our efforts. This week, you will receive information, plans, materials, talking points, and directions on how you can help us achieve this goal. This program will require everyone's effort. We will be engaging leaders, members, staff, and even vendors. American Fidelity, one of our sponsored vendors, has set a goal of converting 1,000 service fee payers through their sales representatives. McGregor and Associates and Kaiser are contributing funds to release CSEA members to conduct site visits and convert service fee payers. But this is not something with which we are unfamiliar. When CSEA was formed in 1927, agency shop did not exist. When I was hired as a labor relations representative in 1981, agency shop was not mandatory. In SB 1960, the bill to provide mandatory agency shop was only signed into law by Governor Davis in the year 2000. For 73 years, CSEA signed up members the old-fashioned way. We did site visits, we talked to members, we explained the value of the union, and we signed them up one by one. Our enemies hope that eliminating agency shop will weaken or destroy us. They don't know organized labor, they don't know classified employees, and they certainly don't know CSEA. CSEA was formed 2 years before the Great Depression, and we are still here. When collective bargaining was passed in 1975, every union in California predicted that they would take over the schools and wipe CSEA out, but we are still here. Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger tried to repeal SB 1419, take away our pensions, and in 2005 he qualified 4 ballot measures in an effort to terminate us. Now he's back making mediocre Terminator movies, and we are still here. When I took over as executive director, we were reeling from the Great Recession and facing internal turmoil. But thanks to strong board leadership, members taking control of their union, and passages of Proposition 30, we are still here. Our success can be attributed to the resilience and hard work of CSEA members and to the strength of our member-run union. Another factor is the hard work and dedication and commitment of your CSEA staff. In every battle, staff is by your side, fighting with you every step of the way. I am honored to work with dedicated union professionals who do great work and who love this union. And I would like to introduce you to some of these outstanding individuals. They are my department heads and staff teams who have struggled through the bad times, celebrated during the good times, and who work hard every day to keep CSEA strong and successful. The accounting department has processed thousands of service fee conversions, implemented a new accounting system, and this past year identified cost savings that over the long time will save CSEA over $400,000. Please meet Director of Accounting, Steve Brashear. Our Human Resources and Training Department put on 861 training events last year, attended by over 20,000 members and staff. They screened over 1,500 job applicants and certified 18-member trainer. Our director, Brian Schroeder, is not here today, but standing in for him is training manager Trent Ballard. The Information Tech Systems Department manages the technology that connects our union. This year they launched a grassroots mobile app, improved data integrity, and were integral players in the service fee conversion and chapter accountability programs. Meet Director of Information Services, Tina Wagner. The legal department steps in when all else fails. They defend us when needed, and when necessary, they sue the pants off of school districts. Last year, they helped defeat the Parent Trigger Charter in Anaheim, and they won a settlement of $340,000 in Santa Ana for outsourcing classified jobs. Meet Director of the Legal Department, Michael Clancy. The Office Services Department manages all CSEA printing, mail, and oversees CSEA real estate valued at over $21 million. Last year, they produced and distributed over 2.7 million pieces of literature, meeting the demands of every chapter, member, and staff on time. Meet Director of Office Services, Roy Ramos. The Member Benefits Department manages CSEA travel, hotels, ticket sales, paraeducator, and M&O conferences. The new Member Benefits Guide and membership card you recently received came from them. They are the lead department for this conference. And for those of you that don't already know her, meet the 2009 Event Planner of the Year, the Director of Member Benefits, Jody Bell. The Field Operations Department is the engine of CSEA. The field directors and labor relations representatives bargain contracts, handle grievances, organize, and represent members every day. They deliver the Organizing Institute and the Member Unity Program, and they oversee our political campaigns. You will hear him speak later this week. Meet Director of Field Operations, Keith Pace. The Communications Department produces the Focus magazine and designed the Member Benefits Guide. Last year, they trained over 270 members at the Communications and Webmaster Academies, and they have won 7 prestigious International Labor Journalism Awards last year. Meet Director of Communications, Frank Polito. The Governmental Relations Department makes sure good bills are passed and bad bills are killed in the state capitol. RGR staff is the hardest working and most respected team in Sacramento. They will be on stage Thursday to deliver the legislative program. They're not here today, but let's hear it for the CSEA Governmental Relations team. The Executive Department staffs the CSEA President, the Board, and me. They support every department in CSEA. Last year, they implemented the new Constitution Builder, regional maps, and organizational goals. Teresa Perez, Arnold Morin, Martha Tosky, and Ginger Dillon are the glue that holds us together. And please give a hand to our Executive Manager, Guillermo Morales. This is your CSEA team, and it is my privilege to work with them and our privilege to work with you. You know, the impending Supreme Court decision, the sunset of Proposition 30, and the attack on our pensions are all big challenges. But whatever the outcome, CSEA will be prepared, we will be proactive, and we will come out stronger than ever. They can attack us at the ballot box. They can attack us in the courts. They can try to take away our pensions, our funding, and our rights. But they can never take away our will, and they will never take away our fight. We will always stand by your side. We will always have your back. And we will always be proud to work for the best members in the best union in the United States of America, the California School Employees Association. Thank you.